Hello everyone. Right, I want to talk about Cooper's colour codes. So the soft skill that we all know is Cooper's colour codes, which is the model by Jeff Cooper for defining various or varying states of awareness. So we know condition white, switched off; condition yellow, alert and aware; condition orange, alarmed; condition red, the need to take action, fight or flight; and one added later, condition black, which is just total emotional breakdown. So we know the context of these in a self-preservation or self-protection sense, but I want to talk about it more in relation to today's situation, if you like, and where colour codes apply and are important. So first of all, condition white. Well, you don't want to be in condition white when you're out and about, we know that. But condition white was always essential because it's decompression time. It's time when you switch off. And I would put it to you that when you're in the safety of your own home or your own environment, decompression time is more important now than ever before. You know, you need to switch off, make time for you to actually be in a state of total non-mindedness, just relaxation, don't think about anything. So meditation would help, you know, breathing would help, various theta wave type sounds will help keep your breathing pattern down and make you less anxious. But condition white is really important, isn't it? It needs to be time in your day, every day, not just when you sleep at night, that you just fucking switch off. So that's important. Condition yellow, well, of course, when we're out and about, you need to be alert and aware. But in recent times, I'd say that we're all in more of a condition yellow alpha type state, which is a slightly hotter condition of yellow, where instead of just being aware of your environment, you are actively seeking where's the next problem coming from. Now, in normal everyday society, some time back, that would be considered paranoia, and it's not a place that you want to be. So condition yellow alpha, which was a state inserted into the colour codes by Dennis Martin, a close quarter combat instructor, legendary. And it was designed really for operatives, so a bodyguard, a policeman responding to a call, or someone in the military, you know, on a mission or something like that. Wherever they would be actively seeking the threat, actually actively looking out for the threat. So in, you know, normal society, unless you stumble into a bad area where you know it's a potential for that, you know, you wouldn't be in condition yellow alpha where you're actively seeking to see where the next threat is coming from. But that's the kind of situation that we find ourselves in now, where the constant bombardment of negative crap coming at us through the mainstream media is putting us in this heightened state. Oh, what the fuck is happening next? And in fact, I'd go further to say that we are in condition orange. So condition orange is considered a state of alarm. So something's happened in your immediate environment that says potentially is a problem for you. And what would accompany that, as we've talked about before, would be an escalation in heart rate. Well, you ask any woman that has lived with a domestically abusive partner, that kind of person lives constantly in condition orange, where they are totally alarmed. What mood will they be in next? And, you know, are they going to kick off again? Well, using that analogy of what it would be like to live in condition orange, that's where most of us are now. So most of us that are not oblivious to what's going on, or that are not think there's something but it doesn't concern them because they live in their little self-obsessed bubble, those of us that are aware at least that a lot of shit is going on now, right? Let's be honest about that. Well, those kind of people that realise, oh fucking hell, what's happening next, are in a constant state of alarm. We are living constantly in condition orange, and it's exhausting. It's corrosive, it fucking wears you down, hence the need for conditioned white decompression time, which I'll come back to. But if you look at mainstream media, which most people are brainwashed by, the news and the constant bombardment of fear-mongering. You know, just yesterday, bubonic plague case in China village, shut down the whole village. The tactical nuke attack in fucking Beirut. A constant push to normalise paedophilia. You know, release into the population of the worst criminal felons from prison, released into society. You know, during this lockdown period, there's been an absolute, very quiet, on the quiet, mass invasion of even further immigrants. You know, and they're not fussy. They're emptying prisons and emptying them into our society. They're doing it globally. They're doing it in the US and they're doing it here. Do research. The idea of that is just to create as much fucking carnage as possible. It must be. You know, there is obviously the economic collapse that we've got to deal with, and this total social separation with the social distancing and the masks, etc. Everything is just negative. Everything they push in the news is just a negative, constant bombardment designed just to make you feel that condition orange type state. So we're constantly in alarm, whether you realise it or not. You're angst up. So condition red in a normal situation would apply to taking action. So if you are in condition yellow, walking along the street, you're alerted to a potential problem that you can't immediately avoid, you would go into orange. And as it approached, and there was based on a pre-threat queue criteria, there would be the need to act, condition red, which would be fight or flight. So here, condition red really applies to us taking action, proactive action to bettering what we can right now. So there's a need right now to, I think you'll all agree, to shorten and tighten our time frame. Nobody can make goals for the next 5 years, next 3 years, next year, next 3 months, because we don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So it's squashing people's motivation to do stuff, you know. So that's where we've got to act. That's where we've got to be proactive. So you've got to tighten your time frame. You know, tighten it to the next 3 to 6 months. Right, have I got everything I need resource-wise? And what can I make better in my immediate environment that will keep me safer for that period of time? Maybe it'll be a lesser period of time, but you've got to shorten your time frame and be here now, really, because, you know, we don't know what's around the fucking corner. We don't know, good or bad, we just don't know, right? Now is the time to appreciate the things that are good in your life. So, nice sunny weather we're having here in the UK, you know, so it's nice, a bit of sunshine. Get out there, enjoy it, you know, appreciate it. You know, any moments that you get where, you know, you've got a chance to smile and laugh, and they're still there, you know, just watching your dog play, watching the kids play, just hearing a funny joke, seeing someone you ain't seen for a while. There's great moments, and we've really got to cherish and harness those. You know, we've got to change this constant low vibration, you know, constant low vibrational feelings that are put out there all the time, that are just dark and making us withdraw. You know, the only way to destroy darkness is with light, and that's what we're all missing. Everything that creates the social distancing, the removal of your voice and your identity with the masks. Just, you don't see your mate down the road anymore, your fellow man or your fellow woman. You just see somebody, oh, stay away, unclean. And this separation in the social distancing, what it's creating is just destroying our very social fabric. Just look at going to a pub. So I used to like to go to, you know, various dance party nights now that relived the tech house period in my life in the 90s when everyone used to go and do that. I went yesterday to a venue that hadn't been to since all of this shit began, and you have to sit down at a table separated from everybody else, and if you want to like get up and move about or dance or whatever else, you've got to do it around your table. Just the whole thing was totally different. It's just gone. The social interaction that it once was, it's just not there. And as soon as some people are having a good time, they're like separated. As soon as one table goes over to see another table and they're having a laugh, the security are coming in and moving you on. I mean, what's all that about? You know, I mean, look at football, soccer, that's never going to be the same again. Look at kids basketball, kids baseball, it's never going to be the same again. No sporting event, no anything where we can get together, lighten up, have a laugh and talk and enjoy. All of that has been taken away from us. You know, under the guise of a pandemic that has 0.04 survivability rate. I mean, personally, I'd rather take my fucking chances than have every single human right taken away from me and replaced with being told how I should live, you know, like a clockwork orange robot who has to eradicate all thinking for himself, where I no longer should concern myself with my own thoughts and feelings that make me an individual person. I should just simply follow what I'm told to do. And if you look at this, the effect it's going to have on our children, you know, when the normal at school is to be separated by 4 screens and play in your own 4-foot square and don't interact and don't touch. I mean, what's that going to do for future society to communicate? So, to be people, you know. This is the true fight. They say that this is an information war, and the information put out there obviously is a lot of bullshit, a lot of fake news, some fact, some elements that have merit, all rolled into a snowball. And what you're getting on the mainstream media is not the full picture. So I would say to you, you need to limit your exposure to mainstream media, and if you are going to look at stuff, designate a time. So I like get up in the morning and I'll do maybe 20 minutes a day, no more than that, and I don't look at mainstream media. I look at other alternatives, but I do look at what the mainstream media are pushing as the current vogue, and then other things, and then I leave it alone for the day, because you can just get drawn into it and it doesn't take you to any place good. So the true fight now really is fighting against this low vibrational fear mongering that we keep getting all the time, and looking at how we can respond to it. So how we react to what we're facing and is your choice to a degree. You know, you choose how you react to something. You can't do anything about the things you can't do anything about, so know that. But you can do something about the things you can do something about. That's why you've got to shorten your timeline and your time frame and concentrate on the now and be it now. And you've got to make the best of every great moment that you have. You've got to zen that shit up. So, you know, the next time you hold somebody you care about and breathe them in, be there. The next time you go on a nice walk in somewhere nice, be there. The next time you taste a great meal or smell good coffee or have a nice cognac or whatever your bag is, you know, be there, enjoy it. Because, you know, we don't know what's around the fucking corner. This scaremongering creates lots and lots of this low vibrational energy, which seems to be what they want. I mean, just look at the rise in suicides and drug overdoses since all this shit began, and they're talking about another fucking lockdown. It's likely to be 6 months and enforced by martial military law. And now if you go out, it won't be a fine, it'll be imprisonment. I mean, Christ, what are they doing? All on the guise of this pandemic. You know, I'd rather take my fucking chances. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it anyway. If it exists, and if it does exist, it's got a 0.04 survivability rate. And those people that have, before you jump on him and say, yes, but I lost so-and-so to so-and-so, did they actually test for a virus? No, they didn't. They tested for genetic material that's magnified. so many times that it just depicts whether any one of us have had a flu. And chances are every one of us has had a cold or a flu. That's what COVID is. Notice the change of words now. Yeah, well, it's what corona is. COVID-19 is no longer called COVID-19. It's gone back to coronavirus. Well, it kind of covers the body of things. In fact, look at the way the words are used. They don't say you must wear a mask, because there's evidence that constant habitual use of a mask would cause you harm. In which case, if you were enforced by the government to wear something that caused you harm, you would have a case to appeal. Instead of that, it's called a face covering. So now it doesn't have to be the N95, which they told us it was before. It can be any piece of fabric, worn like a fashion accessory. See what that really is? That is just a symbol to silence you. So you've got no voice and you've got no identity, right? But that's not the point of this. The point of this is, how do the colour codes apply? Well, condition red applies here, because that's the fight. You've got to fight against that constant fear mongering that just makes you feel like shit all the time, and you've got to focus on what you can do and appreciate the now. So you've got to change that low vibration for higher vibration and put some light back in your life. Really, I mean, if you look at all of this, how it's geared, I mean, the amount of people that have just been lost from suicide or from a drug overdose, or where they've just been really sick and lost the will to recover. I mean, people die all the time, and old people are being left, and this is just disgusting. It all seems to be part of the end game goal, which is clearly to depopulate the population. So your condition red applies to you fighting back, you making a fucking game plan of how you're going to get through this. And I would suggest that you start with routines. So if you're going to look at this shit, designate a time, 20 minutes a day. Look at whatever you've got to look at, and do that, and then put it away. And then the rest of your day, don't apply any thought to it. Try and avoid people that keep going on and on and on about it. Don't bury your head, but at the same time, look at what you can do, what makes sense to you, and what you can do with right now. Spend your time more productively. I mean, make time for those that you love. Zen that shit up. Be there now. Take advantage of anything that tastes good, anything that smells good. Appreciate the moment, seriously. And I would definitely suggest that you take time to meditate. And this comes back to helping you decompress. So in a safe place of your own choosing. So meditation can take many forms. It doesn't have to be fucking mystical. What I would suggest you do is that you get headphones that will connect both sides of your brain when you listen to the right sort of theta wave sounds. So it's been said that even all the music that they've put forth have had very low vibrational terms that don't create a sense of well-being. So much so that many artists refuse to use them. Whether there's reality in that or not requires more research, but it all fits in line with what we're talking about. But if you look on the internet, there's loads of great sounding at the right wavelength music, sounds, chants, whatever you want to call it, that are great for going to sleep to, just hearing it in the background. And subconsciously your breathing pattern will change and follow, and you'll get a really good night's sleep. I started doing this from the beginning, and I can say to you that it helps you gather your energies. Meditation helps you gather your energies. Now, I've always been in awe when I've read about martial warriors that take their craft from the physical level, and and the emotional awareness that leads them eventually to a spiritual summit. So Jeff Thompson was big on this, and I always thought that for the right people, for me, nah. I always thought it was bollocks. I always thought I was way too much of a mean old bastard to get any kind of spiritual awakening, but I'm starting to find that I was wrong about that. But if you can just get 15-20 minutes, go to a quiet place, just meditate, look at the methods for doing that. It comes out simple. Just close your eyes and breathe. Focus on your breathing. Try and release tension in every part of your body, and try and, in my brain, I use internal visualization, like I'm tipping over an inkwell and it's just splacked out the blotting paper. and that is it blocking out all thoughts in my mind. So I'll just lie, breathe. If I feel any tension, I'll tense that area hard and tight and then release it. So I recognize the difference between tension and relaxation. And I'll breathe, and I'll just then aim to quieten my mind. If you can quieten your mind just to nothingness, you get to the point where you start to hear your heartbeat. That's tuning you in to self-awareness. But you would be amazed just at how much it makes you gather your forces, gather your energy. It's giving you more energy to cope with the current situation, because if you don't do that as an alternative, it's just going to build up and build up and build up. And of course, exercise is a big part of that. You must exercise. Don't neglect it. Keep your body in good trim. Use mobility. If you're going to do your combatives training, make sure it's impactful, and make sure you do it with emotional content, so you're burning out that negative energy that you might alternatively be holding up. But be sure to balance it. There's no front without back. Balance the hard skills, violence, training, whatever else stuff with that peaceful meditation type shit. Try and seek to implement that. Who knows, maybe a little manifesting will awaken your spirituality. Certainly can't hurt to try. So, your condition red in terms of taking action means fighting the negativity. You've really got to look at what you got and appreciate it and live it every moment that's left like your last. Like I said, in the beginning of my martial career, I've been training for 42 years and I was always about to crash and bash. Very quickly, the physical transcended for me to the emotional awareness, where I totally understood me and understood what I was capable of. And even though I'm capable of extreme violence, there's no front without back. I have an equally empathic and caring and loving side. I know that's what separates me from, those I prepare myself for, if you like. So, but the spirituality thing, where I'm, starting to lose the linear blinkers and looking more at the bigger picture and starting to feel more with my heart and think with my head, that's coming to me, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy that starting to at least shine a light on me in that way. Another suggestion would be get your affairs in order. Maybe financially or whatever else, but really I'm talking about people. So make peace with others where possible. If you've had, in comparison to now, any trivial shit or arguments with people, trying to fix them. You can't fix everything, and to be honest, I'm a fucking weekend, and from the 2 clips that I put out there currently on YouTube, that how I feel about all of this. But in doing that, the amount of people that you find out were not really your friends is quite astounding. And that includes your family. Well, if your family turn your back on you because you think in a certain way and they don't want to think that way because it scares them too much, well, you've got to let them go. And if people think in that way and make it all about them, well, you've got to let them go. And conversely to that, loads of people who I'd never have thought would have rose to the plate have. So it swings and roundabouts. But the bottom line is, cherish your moments and take solace in the fact that it's going to end at some point. We all pass. That's what I mean. We all go. We all pass. The question is, for the good, who have, light within, does your light within go on elsewhere? Who knows? If it does, well, great. Like I said, I'm not a religious man. I'm open to most things. The fact that we were created is an amazing thing. So if that's feasible, then other things are feasible. And I do believe that potentially this body is just a vehicle for that, and it may go on. In which case, if you're a good person, that's great. But if not, well then, it's everlasting sleep, isn't it? Once you're gone, it's everlasting sleep. Well, that's still okay compared to, living in despair Bottom line is, you can't change what you can't change. You can change what you can change, and you can control how you react to shit. So choose to lose this vibrational energy that they're trying to put on us all the time. That's the fight. And strive to keep your faculties, keep your sanity, and recognise what's good in life, and be optimistic, you know. Hope for the best. And I've always said hope ain't a strategy you can rely on, but hope for the best and prepare for the worst. You know, we've got to make the best of what we got. Seriously, you've got to be here now. Final condition, colour code condition, which was put in some years later after Jeff Cooper's model, was condition black. And condition black applies equally to the context of what we're talking about as it does what was meant when it was put in. So condition white, switched off, no awareness. Condition yellow, alert and aware. Condition orange, state of alarm. Here's where the heart rate escalates now. You start to get that pre-release adrenaline and that corrosiveness. That's what we're going through all the time, and it's wearing us down. It's destroying people's immunity. Combine that with having to wear a mask where you're bringing in your own carbon dioxide, stay completely segregated and separated from people, even the people that you love. So, you know, somebody's poorly and dying, the police are pulling you away from them. It's just inhumane. So condition orange is that constant state of alarm. You don't want to be in that all the time. You've got to work against that. But if you do find yourself in that situation where suddenly you're faced with making a choice because you're in peril if you don't, well, that would be condition red. And in a street context, that's simple enough. Somebody's coming up to give you a fucking problem, you've got to act or you've got to leg it. But in the context of what we're talking about here, because this is a different kind of war, and it's an attack on our psyche, you've got to strive just to stay as positive as you can and make the best of what, you know, the moments that you have, and enjoy it fully. That's what we need to do. That's our fight. That's our condition red. Condition black would be where you are forced into a situation and you are completely overwhelmed emotionally. You can't do anything. You have complete emotional breakdown and shutdown. You know, that's despairing and foreboding. That's self-destruction. Don't go there. Don't go there no matter what. So each and every one of the good people are too fucking important to despair and give up and take their own life or just lose motivation and lose incentive. I know there's nothing, it feels like there's nothing to look forward to, but, you know, something had to change in the world. And no one feeling lasts forever. Remember that when you endeavour. So this is going one place or another, and you've got to look for the positives of what you've got right now. Maybe it'll make us all appreciate what we've got right now. If you suddenly realise you're going to lose it all tomorrow, you probably act and think differently. Remember, how you think affects how you feel affects what you do affects the results you get back. So you don't want to be in this constant low vibrational state of foreboding all the time, because it just destroys motivation. It destroys motivation for anything. You don't want to train, you don't want to go out, you don't want to eat, you know, you don't want to do anything. That's no good. That's no good. You know, just think about it as, right, well, we don't know how long we got, so we've got to shorten the time frame, bring everything in. Maybe just getting through to next Friday is all that matters. In which case, what could you do to make that the best it can be? Make routines. So like I said, you know, get up in the morning, don't lie about all day, get up in the morning if we have to go back into this lockdown. And for those of you that are working from home, designate your time to work from home. Designate the time that you spend on fucking social media. Make sure you eat good, make sure you stay hydrated, designate the time for your exercise, and fucking meditate. And appreciate, look at the good. Look at the good that's around you and look at what's not important. And like I said, put your affairs in order. So forgive and forget for things that are trivial. So yeah, I'll give you an example. So some time ago, Julian Mason of some combatives group, he used to write to me, come to one of my students, and we had a falling out and a disagreement. And I stand by the disagreement. It didn't suit me, the way that the response I was getting back to what I was giving out. So I decided to part company with this individual, and this individual uses my material among many other people's material for teaching his method. And he initially, I felt that he used it without giving merit to where he got it from, which he corrected. And I felt probably the wrong perception that this person's motivation for teaching in this way was more for himself than for the better of others. Well, I put my hands up. I was wrong about that. So, Julian, you have a good talent, martial talent, and if you help a handful of people grow, then keep doing what you're doing, and you got my blessing. So I would like, people to look at this kid and think he's got a good product to offer. He's paid attention and he listens. He's still got a lot to learn, still got some ego to get rid of, but his general message is to help other people, and that's a righteous thing to do. We don't know how long we're here, so you got to ask yourself, what I've done while I'm here, was it worthy? And I like to think that what I've done while I'm here is worthy. I like to think that I've helped a lot of people, because that was my goal. But my point of talking about Julian was, we had a feud for a while, and I don't speak, and he's tried to fix it, and I'm just not interested. I just want to get on with my life. But, I've got to practice what I preach. So, if you're listening, there's no hard feelings between us, and I wish you well. And keep doing what you're doing, and people look at his product. He's a talented kid that wants to do what I'm doing. He wants to help others. So, if you've got some similar situation, fell out with a neighbour, a work colleague or whatever else, fix it. Life's too fucking short for trivial shit, it really is. And focus on the things that matter. The fluff don't matter. Focus on those you care about, what you got good. Remember, it's not about money and ownership of material things. We come in with nothing, we go out with nothing. That's what you do when you're here. So look, I would say keep your head on it. Make routines, keep fucking training, train for self-preservation, because there's a good chance you're going to fucking need your skills soon. And if we're going to go out fucking warrior, Nobody lives forever. I'll see you in Valhalla.